Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
My sister lives with me because her college and my house are just 10 minutes apart from each other. And my parents thought that this would be the best thing to do before she starts living on her own after graduation. So I should teach her some adulting skills that she would need, and this incident really shows how miserably I failed in teaching her, and not only that, but how I have completely spoiled her. We are from a well-to-do family, and our father works in the tech sector, and our mother is a doctor. So, as you can see, growing up with money was never an issue. And even though I haven't properly settled down as a lawyer yet, so they help me now and then, so I'm literally the worst person to call my parents out, or to blame them for my sister's overspending at literally everything. A little background on my sister. She is the spoiled one between us. My sister has always been the prettier sister. She's blonde, has blue eyes, has a perfect body, and everything about her is perfect. So my mother always made sure to give her more clout everywhere. She has contested several beauty pageants while being a kid to a teen, so by all this stuff you can understand how high her ego must be. She has 5,000 followers on TikTok, and yeah, she is a popular kid. She never had to work hard or study or have a dream. She's just used to being given everything she wants in the blink of an eye. So, as she is a content creator, her content basically revolves around spending a lot of money and showing people a lavish lifestyle. She needs every designer, and last month, when she blew up on TikTok, my parents found out about her impulsive spending and buying unnecessary stuff just for views on TikTok. She tried to throw a fit and explain to them how she likes doing it, but was shut down by my dad. My dad warned her, if she doesn't get that degree of business, then she's good as gone. Pretty sure Dad had to pay her way into the college because no way she has worked hard and has any knowledge for getting into a really elite college anyways, at least solely based on talent. Dad's warning didn't make any difference in her behavior, but only made it worse. She acted like a brat every now and then. She's nothing but a rude-ass bitch to everyone, and her ass-licking friends would have long dumped her if she wasn't pretty, rich, and TikTok famous. Her monthly spending allowance was cut, and she was given only $1,000 to spend the whole month. And I don't even know why she's given more than that anyways. Like, look, she doesn't have to pay rent or have to worry about groceries and bills, so what's the point for giving her 20 times more each month? I would literally blame everything on our mom, who spoils her over nothing and is just straight up ruining her life. I'm sorry if I look like the bad guy who's jealous, but so be it. I never got anything as half as she gets. The only time my mother ever acknowledged me after I passed the baby bar, and then I was back to being the plain daughter with no specialty. A day before yesterday, my sister got another impulsive idea of buying a car that cost $30,000 for the sake of her TikTok. Of course, she doesn't have that much money, right? So either my mom paid or dad. Neither of them did. She used my card to pay that much. If you have any simple knowledge of credit, you know how it is going to affect me in future. And the thing here is that she didn't ask for my permission to use my card. I have multiple cards, so basically they're all kept in different places, so I can't and don't see the necessity of keeping a tab of my cards, which are all kept inside my room where she's not allowed to come while she stays with me. She made a $30,000 purchase from my card without telling me and stealing it from me. So I blocked my card after getting the notification because I thought I dropped it somewhere and some stranger was stealing it. I came to know about all this when she returned home because she was making a TikTok video about getting my reaction to it. Everything sounds so annoying, and honestly, I just want to throw her out of my house, which I will, because I don't care if she's my sister. I'm not keeping a thief in my house, knowing nothing is safe in here anymore. If this is how it keeps on going, she will sell my house one day and put it on TikTok. After screaming for a while, she throws the car to my face, takes the car, and drives off. I called my dad immediately, but he was busy and there was no point in speaking with my mother. I had an amazing idea to get my revenge. I phone all my influencer friends and sell them all her designer clothes and accessories. If she can take my stuff without my permission and make me feel miserable about it, then so can I. I don't care what she does after that. My friends agree to buy stuff right there through cash because my sister has all the vintage stuff from Chanel, and that makes me a lot of money. I need my money back regardless of the way I have to take. I sold her tweed pink jackets for a good $17,000 and another pink and clear hoodie for $6,000, along with a purse for another $15,000, and kept some good stuff for myself too. As she said, it's not stealing, it's just borrowing, and as we are sisters, everything that belongs to her belongs to me, and then so be it. I sold all that stuff for $38,000, and I kept the extra $8,000 as a good work reward. She comes home with a friend, so I won't scold her or call her out. They, the friend uses this pronoun, introduced themselves, and then they both went to her room to check her vintage collections. And sure, my sister was going to meet with a surprise. She immediately comes out within 2 minutes of not getting anything and crying and screaming, asking where did I keep all her stuff. Well, from the logic she mentioned before, I explained to her that we are sisters, so whatever belongs to her belongs to me. And to get back the $30,000 that she stole from me, I sold all of our stuff to make it even, and now she can keep the car. I made sure to show her the extra profit I made from the business deal. She gets angry and starts screaming. The friend excuses themselves and goes out. My sister is crying and yelling about how I'm selfish and who is jealous of her and blah, blah, blah. She knows that she can't call Dad about any of this because if she does, she's going back to their hometown and will be sent to grandparents, and there she will have to attend a local community college and lose her popularity and friends. She calls Mom and tells her everything. My mom tries talking with me, but this time I took a stand for myself and didn't let them change my mind. My mom was busy, so she cut the call and asked both of us to talk things out and solve it with each other by ourselves. This is not happening. Someone has to put an end to her spoiled attitude and this impulsive spending and everything. She goes on talking about how I'm a crazy person and she is going to the cops to file a complaint against me for mentally harassing her and stealing her stuff, and will make sure how I won't be able to be a lawyer and that she'll ruin every one of my friends' lives who bought stuff from me. I don't know if I'm being hard on her, as she says, but I do feel bad for her crying and being unstable for all this time. So my sister really called the cops on me and accused me of everything that she told me that she would. After this, I'm confused if I should even call her my sister or not, and it's completely shocking. I immediately called my father, and I knew I could handle the cops. After all, I am a lawyer, and it would be really shameful not being able to handle them myself. I spoke with them and immediately told them about my sister stealing $30,000 from me and buying a new car without my permission. So I sold all our stuff that was in my house under my roof, so I had every right to sell them. When my sister argued about it, I reminded her and made her agree to her saying whatever belongs to her belongs to me. And as she's an adult, there's no way I am abusing a child mentally, so all the claims were absurd, and the cops agreed to and then left. My dad, after some time, called me and asked about everything. I told him everything, and he was really mad and asked me to pack all my sister's stuff. And he is arriving in 2 days to take care of my sister and her antics. I have to bear with her for one more day. My mom called me after knowing everything, and she said I could have handled the situation better, and I snapped and told her everything about her partiality and how different she treats me and my sister. She started crying and telling me that she loves both of us equally and just had to take extra care of her because she was smaller. We aren't speaking anymore. I don't want to have her perfect daughter and leave me alone. My parents both came to my house and met both me and my sister. My sister dramatically runs to our mom and starts hugging her and telling her how tortured she feels. My dad tells her to back off and stop crying and just go pack her bags and come with them. While she packed her bag, we all sat down talking. I explained to them the whole situation about how I've been living and her habits and everything. My dad was so disappointed in her and apologized about the whole situation and told my sister to not bring any designer stuff with her anymore as she won't need them. She's dropping out of this uni and going to another one near my dad's place, and she'll be leaving with them till she gets her life together. I have made sure to tell her to keep her contact with me minimal, and I was really hurt by everything that she did to me. She can just keep her sorries to herself, and after a while of crying and sobbing, they left. Honestly, I don't know what to say. I just feel like you were jealous of her from the beginning and found this incident to take revenge on her. But the sister is also a disaster to begin with, and I just am disgusted by everything for some reason. ESH, including the parents and everyone mentioned in the story. I think she should have just called the parents from the start and avoided all this revenge stuff. It looks like OP is the bad guy, but deep down I understand her as an empath. I don't want to label you on anything, just saying you could have done something better than selling her stuff. Like making her get a job to pay you back. That way you would have gotten your money back and also taught her a real life skill. So I would just say NTA, but could have handled the situation a bit better.
Next story.
I'm a 29-year-old woman and my mom is 46 and she had me young. She was honestly a terrible mother, constantly going through boyfriend after boyfriend. I don't know if any of these were serious relationships, but I don't know how else to describe it. Disappearing for days at a time, constantly coming home drunk, high. She had my sister, Linda, 18, when I was 11, tried being a decent parent for maybe a year, then went right back to going constantly AWOL. I pretty much had to raise my sister and got custody of her when I was 19. She was 8. I had to put my life on hold to raise Linda, dropped out of college and only started again when my sister went to high school and was a little more independent. My sister is about to graduate high school and I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm also about to finish my degree, but I also hope to go to med school one day. I realize I'm kind of old at this point, but this has always been my dream. I just never had the time or chance to fully prepare for the applications. The thing is, a year ago, my mom had yet another daughter, Sam. She claimed she had cleaned up her act and would be a good parent. I was kind of doubtful. She didn't even know who the dad was. I did occasionally check up on her, and surprisingly, she did seem to be a better mother this time around. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I stopped by and saw that Sam was all by herself. I called Mom, and she didn't answer. For 2 days, I took Sam home with me until Mom finally called me. She was crying, saying that she couldn't do it. She couldn't stay sober or clean and hated being a mother anyway. She told me I should take in Sam since I had done such a good job with Linda. I just can't do it. I can't do it all over again. I spent the last 18 years raising Linda. And while I don't regret it, and I'm proud of us both for getting through it, I can't imagine doing this all over again. I haven't been able to pursue my career goals, have a relationship, have hobbies, finish school on time, etc. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for my real life to begin. While I don't want harm to come to Sam, and I would never neglect or abuse her on my watch, I don't feel the attachment or sense of responsibility for her the way I did for Linda. I told Mom to get help, but that I wouldn't be taking in Sam permanently. CPS won't let Mom keep Sam for the time being. She's currently with me, but I am looking into other options for her, whether that's adoption, which is a little tricky with my mom's situation, or foster care. But my mom thinks I'm an a-hole and a shitty daughter, for not willingly taking her in. I don't know, I do feel guilty because Sam is my sister. But at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't have to be responsible for this. I'd already be super old starting med school in a few years. I don't want to wait even longer. NTA, my heart breaks for you. Please don't blame yourself because you can't raise another sister. You already did it once. Allow her to go to foster care and hopefully your mother gives up her rights so that she can be adopted. Be proud, you've accomplished so much. Raising kids isn't easy and you gave up so much. You're also not too old for medical school. As a nurse, I noticed that the older med students and residents did much better overall because of their maturity and life experience. There are a lot of people who get into medicine at an older age or as a second career. The absolute audacity of your mother to bring another child into this world, not take care of her, and then call you, someone who took care of her first, yourself, and her second child, by yourself, a bad sister. NTA.
Next story.
Yesterday, my sister, 27, came to visit me, I'm a 25-year-old man, and my daughter, 8. She was doing her homework while sitting with us. She got frustrated because she was stuck on a comprehension question. I asked her what answer she thinks is probably the correct one and why. She was so sad that she refused to answer, and she told me that she's not smart. She's actually smart and hardworking, has been the first in her class since she started primary school. I reminded her that not knowing the answer doesn't make her stupid or any less smart. I closed the textbook and told her to take a deep breath. I kept telling her that she's smart, capable, hardworking, and beautiful. I asked her to repeat that with me, and I gave her a hug. We reread the text together, and after a few minutes, she managed to answer it on her own. I told her, good job, and she was so happy. After she went to sleep, my sister and I kept talking for hours until she brought up how I dealt with my daughter. She took a lot of offense for what I did. She told me that I was still treating her like a toddler and that I was raising a scared, weak girl that would get frustrated and maybe even cry whenever she faces a problem, and told me that's the number one reason there are a lot of young women with self-esteem issues. She told me to stop using social media to raise her. I ordered her to leave right then. She told me it's 1 a.m. and started apologizing for what she said because she just wants what's best for her niece. I told her that since she's a strong, independent woman and not a scared girl, she'd manage herself just fine. I informed her that she could just call an Uber and wait outside until it came. I know that I'm not the perfect dad, and I wonder so myself every day if I really am raising her right. I probably shouldn't have kicked my sister out, especially at that hour. But I was so angry at her because she could have just talked to me nicely and offered some tips instead of making me doubt myself more and making me believe that I am unintentionally hurting my daughter. NTA, how completely bizarre. She told me that I was still treating her like a toddler and that I was raising a scared, weak girl that would get frustrated and maybe even cry whenever she faced a problem, and told me that's the number one reason there are a lot of young women with self-esteem issues. What you're doing is how you raise resilient women who figure out how to solve problems and have good self-esteem.